Today, we're taking a look at these Nank Runner 4 bone conduction headphones that have totally revolutionized my cardio. Now, what do I mean by that? Swimming is my preferred method of cardio, but it does get kind of monotonous and boring going back and forth across the pool, swimming laps over and over for an hour straight. And with other exercises, like when I'm lifting weights in the garage or going for walks, I like to have some earbuds in and listen to some music, listen to podcasts, watch a YouTube video, whatever, talk to people. But that's not really an option when you're swimming. It's really hard to have earbuds in that will short out and die if you get in the water. Plus, Bluetooth doesn't really work in the water. However, these have changed all that and have made it so much more enjoyable to do my swims, and I actually swim longer now because of it. I've been swimming for cardio for a little over 2 years now, and I typically go for an hour at a time. And so to break up some of that boring monotony of going back and forth, I started looking into different headphone options, see if there's anything that actually does work in the water so I can listen to something and have a little more entertainment and enjoyment while I'm doing that. And as I was looking, I actually got an email about a month ago from Nank saying, hey, do you want to try out these headphones? So I started looking into them and realized that these work underwater. So I was like, yeah, sure, send them my way and I'll test them out. So with headphones like this, they have two different modes. They work in Bluetooth just like my AirPods do, so they can hook up to my phone. I can listen to YouTube, I can talk on the phone, all that type of stuff like normal, but then you can switch them over to the MP3 mode, and that allows you to listen to music underwater, to listen to podcasts. I've typically been downloading sermons, which it was a little bit of a pain doing that because these have 16 gigabytes worth of storage, which is good, but when it comes to podcast sermons, I had to find some workarounds online that I eventually did, where you basically go in and get the RSS feed and you're able to download the MP3s for that. But I download them onto my computer, plug these up to the computer. They just have a simple magnetic connection right there with the USB cable, and I plug it into my computer. It pops up just like an external drive would, and then I transfer the files onto it, and then they're loaded on and you're ready to go. After figuring that workaround for the podcast, it's been really nice because I've downloaded like 10 sermons on there at a time, and I'll get in there and just start listening to these 30-minute sermons, swimming back and forth, typically listening to a couple of them, and it makes it really enjoyable. And I've noticed that while I'm swimming, I don't typically feel as tired either, and I think it's probably just because I'm focusing on something else rather than just, oh, my shoulders are getting kind of sore, my lats are sore, my breathing's getting harder. That stuff kind of becomes secondary because I'm focused on what's being said and listening to it and learning at the same time. And one thing I did notice is when you put them on, you want to make sure you turn the Bluetooth off on your phone, because even though you switch over to the MP3 mode, it'll still stay connected. And as I swim the 25 yards away from my phone, when I get about 3/4 of the way, it'll kind of do like the sound it makes when it disconnects, and it says Bluetooth disconnected. And then the sermon keeps playing, and I'll hit the wall, come back, then all of a sudden it does the sound again, Bluetooth's reconnected. Even though I'm not using the Bluetooth, it's constantly connecting and disconnecting. So make sure, if you are using for swimming and your phone's nearby, just turn off the Bluetooth altogether to what it would be connecting to, so that you're not getting those interruptions while you're doing it. And of course, they're not just for swimming. You can use these for running, bike riding, just exercising, whatever. I've tested them out using them while I'm lifting weights, and they work great. And the nice thing, if you're using them for something like running or riding where you're outdoors, with my earbuds, I typically have them in. You might have the noise canceling on, but then you don't hear a lot of the traffic and what's going on around you, which can be dangerous, especially if you're riding a bike. But with this, the bone conduction, it's on and it's not in your ear, it's against your jaw, and it's transmitting through bone conduction, and so you still hear what's going on around you, and you don't have to turn it up really loud in order to keep hearing it. But if swimming's not your thing, let me know down in the comments what type of cardio you like doing. If you do like swimming, if this is something that you think would be good for you, because it's definitely been a game changer for me. Running, bike riding, whatever. Or if you're not doing cardio, let me know why, because remember, cardio is not just for trying to lose fat or so you can eat more. It's about staying healthier. I just got blood work results back, and my cholesterol level went down a ton when I started doing cardio again, more than just walking, actually going for these hour-long sessions, and it made a huge difference. So look out for that video coming soon as well. But for me, I typically would swim an hour with these because it makes it so much easier and enjoyable. I've gone for like 70 to 80 minutes at times, and the manual for the headset suggests that you don't have them in the water for more than 40 minutes, so I wanted to see if I could break the things, and I was doing like 70 to 80 minute sessions of swimming. No problem, they kept working great. I take them out, dry them off, and I haven't had any issues. But keep a lookout in the comments. If I do run into an issue with them working in the water, I'll post it there and pin it to the top so you can see any updates in the future. But so far, so good. I've swam about 10 miles with them so far over all my sessions over the last few weeks, and that's about 6.5 hours worth of swimming. So they've been going great, no problems there. I've carried them with me all around the world on trips, swimming in China, swimming here at my YMCA. I haven't used them in saltwater yet, so when I go to the beach sometime, I'm gonna take them with me and try swimming the ocean and see if that makes any difference too. Definitely wanna make sure you're cleaning it well, rinsing it off with fresh water probably after that, but with just the normal pool water, chlorinated, haven't had any issues. Now they're pretty lightweight and comfortable, like you don't even really notice that they're there. With the bone conduction, it's pretty interesting. I wear earplugs when I'm swimming, but water still gets in behind them into your ear canal. So when I put them on, I start swimming and it was really clear, and once you get some water in your ears, it's like it amplifies it inside your head as well, so you don't even have to have it very loud. And I remember thinking, like, when I'm swimming, looking around, like I see a lifeguard looking at me or someone in another lane, I kept feeling self-conscious the first couple times, like, is this really loud? Like, are people hearing this underwater, or am I bugging people? And I asked one of the lifeguards afterwards, he's like, no, I don't hear anything. When I took it off, you know, it sounds really loud on, but then I take it off and I just hear like a slight buzzing on it. So, I mean, no one's hearing it except you, so that's really nice. You're not bugging people with it being too loud. And I've used it multiple ways. So I have a swimming cap I use, and I tried it with, just pull the cap up a little higher behind my ears and have it on basically like this. And I tried pushing off the wall really hard and turning my head different ways to see if it would fall off. There are a couple times if I like turn just the right way, one side might pop off a little bit, but it still stayed on the other side, and I just grabbed it real quick and slid it back over, and it was fine. But in general, if I'm pushing off the wall normally underwater, they never came off. But what I liked better was when I used my cap, and I would just pull it down over like the top quarter or third of my ears, and that just kept everything locked in place even more, and the sound stayed really consistent the whole time. But if you're not using a cap, like I didn't used to use one before my hair was long, you know, there's no problem. It'll still stay on and work fine. It has an 8-hour battery life, and it's quick charging. The same thing with the cable, that magnetic charger that you hook up to the computer. You also use that to plug it into the wall and charge, or you could just charge it off your computer. But they have a white or beige option along with these gray, and then they have 3 little buttons right here, and the speaker is right there. It's one of the things in the manual. It says to make sure you dry that off after using it in the water so nothing gets damaged long term. It's been fine. I tested it again today after using it in the water for 6+ hours. My wife said she could hear me fine on the phone talking. I could hear her. It was clear. And the buttons, there's a up, down, and a middle one. So a long press of the middle turns it on, another long press turns it off. You've got up and down for the volume, you can switch, and then the long press of them is forward and backward if you're listening to music or sermons or podcasts, whatever you have loaded on there. And then a triple click of the middle button switches it from the Bluetooth mode to the MP3 mode, or it's called TF mode. And then triple click goes back, but you do have to remember that even if you go to the MP3 mode, if you're gonna be getting closer and further away from your phone, then you probably wanna turn the Bluetooth off your phone so it's not connecting and disconnecting. Especially when you get in the water, that Bluetooth connection gets cut really quick once you're underwater. But I'll have a link for these in the description so you can check them out. They're really affordable, especially compared to something like AirPods. They work great for sports, sweat-proof. There's a 15% discount code listed down there as well to help you out. But if you have any questions about them, post them down in the comments and let me know what you think. Hit that like button if this video is helpful. I mean, it's little things like this that make your exercising more enjoyable, more productive while I'm doing my cardio. Like when I'm doing my rower out in the garage, I'm able to watch YouTube videos or listen to stuff I want to catch up on, and I feel like I'm getting multiple things done at the same time. Versus swimming, it's really hard when there's not a lot of stuff you can use in the water. So this has definitely been good and a game changer for my cardio, going farther than I have in the past. I've set both some length and time records of swimming so far just because I'm enjoying it and I just keep going. I'm learning while I'm doing it. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this, as well as diet, training tips, and all kinds of other stuff. Lots of live videos, Q&As posted there so I can help you out the best I can. And I will see you in the next one.